that it is really one of the most difficult things that we have to teach the patient. So, it's something, because you have to teach them carb counting, and then you have to figure out an insulin to carb ratio. Basically, you're making a guesstimate, and then they are going ahead and doing that, and then we're making refinements of that insulin carb ratio and that insulin sensitivity, which will tell us how much prandial insulin will bring down their blood sugar. Like 1 unit bring down 50 or 1 unit bring down 40. There are ways we make an estimate, but then we have to implement it and then make adjustments from there. So it's we go on a weight-based formula, and insulin to carb ratios, based off of that. But it's pretty much all of these algorithms are actually from pump therapy. But we,
gotcha.
yeah. So I find that to be very helpful because, and particularly when we're teaching this to residents, because, they think we're just picking out numbers out of a hat, start everyone on
right.
10. No, we're doing this based on weight-based therapies because hormones, and again, insulin is my favorite hormone, but it's still a hormone, and we give hormones based on body weight. So,
right.
yeah, but so that's how we're doing it. I don't know.
No, that's fantastic.
Okay.
No, that's perfect. And actually, it kind of leads into my next question. What in your mind is the biggest unmet need when it comes to prandial or mealtime insulins?
Right. Yeah, well, I think part of it kind of does pair up with what I'm saying, is matching the intake, the carbohydrate intake of the patient to adequately cover that meal and control the blood sugar without allowing the patient to go too high or too low. That is kind of, and that's why we talked a little bit about time in goal. That's become the kind of new buzzword in the field when we're looking in type 1 diabetes, and it could be applied to really anybody on insulin therapy. But particularly in type 1 diabetes, when we're looking at CGM data, we want to know time at goal. And if you're, for most patients, the goal is going to be 90 to 140. And
right.
we're looking, so we want to know what's the time in goal, and we want to minimize time below 90, even though we define hypoglycemia as less than 70, and then severe hypoglycemia is less than 55. But you really want people to be in goal. Never mind it's a little hypoglycemia or a lot of hypoglycemia, because any hypoglycemia is bad. Obviously, severe is worse. But, we're trying to say time and goal, whatever goal you're setting for that patient. Now, in an older patient, we might set a slightly different goal. But in a younger patient, 90 to 140 may be the goal. And, we see a lot of older patients. And so the goal might be 100 to 150, or could even be 120 to 180. We'll individualize the goal. So it's not the same goal for everybody. It's not the same
right.
A1C goal. That's different now than it was 10 years ago. It was always
right.
less than 7, and now it's not. And then also the time in range or time at goal is going to be a little bit different for each patient. Even though 90 to 140 is what people usually quote, it could be a little different depending on comorbidities of the patient. If they're older, they have heart disease, or other conditions that or maybe dementia, even early dementia, where you really don't want them to be that low. But I would say that's really the biggest, unmet need of prandial insulin, is to get a prandial that works fast enough so you prevent the patient from going too high when they eat,